Have you ever caught yourself wondering, do they just like me as a friend or is there something more? The answer isn't always in what they say. It's hidden in what they do. And believe it or not, psychology shows that our emotions slip out in ways we often don't realize. Today we're diving deep into the subtle signs that reveal when someone emotionally likes you. These aren't just the usual cliches like smiling more or texting often. Some of these signs are so under the radar that most people miss them completely. But once you know them, you'll never look at people's behavior the same way again. Here's the promise. By the end of this video, you'll understand the difference between friendly gestures and true emotional attraction. And stick with me until the very last sign, because number 6 is one that even experts say is easy to overlook. But it's often the strongest clue of all. Welcome to Psychology Zone, where we uncover the hidden truths of human behavior and relationships. If you're curious about how the mind and heart really work, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss our future insights. Before we talk about the more dramatic signs, let's begin with something that may seem simple, but is actually very revealing. Sign number 1, they enjoy being around you. Think about it, people are busy. Everyone has 100 things pulling at their time and attention. But when someone makes space in their schedule just to be near you, it means something. They're not just hanging around by chance. They're choosing you. You'll notice this in the little things. They linger when the conversation should be over. They show up to group events, but somehow end up spending most of the time at your side. Even in silence, they don't seem in a hurry to leave. Psychologists say humans are wired to gravitate toward people who make them feel good. So when someone keeps seeking your presence, it's because being around you creates a sense of comfort, joy, or even excitement they can't easily explain. Pay attention to patterns. Do they find small excuses to be near you, like borrowing something, asking simple questions, or suggesting random outings? These aren't accidents. They're gentle ways of saying, I like being with you, and without having to say the words out loud. Sometimes it's not about big gestures. It's about the effort to stretch out moments together. Maybe they suggest grabbing coffee after class, or they take the long route home just to walk with you. Another subtle clue is body language. People who emotionally like you unconsciously lean in, mirror your movements, or angle their body closer even in a crowded room. It's like their mind is pulling them toward you without realizing it. Notice how they react when it's time to part ways. Do they delay goodbyes? Do they come up with one more thing to say? Or laugh at something small just to keep the moment alive? These are micro signs of someone who doesn't want the time with you to end. What makes this sign powerful is that it's not forced. You can sense the difference between someone being polite and someone genuinely wanting to be with you. Their presence feels natural, and their effort is consistent. At its core, this behavior is about emotional attraction. It's not that they need you for something. It's that they want you. And that distinction is what makes all the difference. Before we dive into the next sign, let's talk about something most people overlook. Sign number 2. They pay attention to what you say, and more importantly, they remember it. Think about how many conversations you have every single day. With friends, co-workers, family, it's easy to forget most of the details. But when someone emotionally likes you, your words stick with them. They don't just listen. They store the information because it matters to them. It could be something small you mentioned in passing, like your favorite snack, the name of your childhood pet, or a tough meeting you were nervous about. Days or even weeks later, they'll bring it up again, and you'll be surprised they remembered. That's not an accident. That's focus fueled by emotion. Psychology suggests that when people are emotionally invested, their brain places a higher value on information linked to that person. In other words, they're not trying hard to memorize. You're simply important, enough that the details naturally stick. Notice how they circle back to earlier conversations. For example, if you once mentioned wanting to try a new restaurant, they might casually suggest it later. If you said you had a headache, they'll ask the next day how you're feeling. These little callbacks are signs of someone who truly listens. It's not only about memory, it's about effort. They want you to feel heard, understood, and valued, and they know that remembering the small things is one of the most powerful ways to show care. Sometimes it goes even deeper. They may notice the tone in your voice when you're stressed, or catch a small detail in your story that others ignored. That level of awareness reveals genuine interest, because they're not just waiting for their turn to talk. They're tuned in to you. Think about the opposite for a moment. When someone doesn't care, your words float away like background noise. But when they do care, every word feels like it has weight. And when those words resurface later, it becomes clear that you're on their mind even when you're not around. Before we talk about the louder, more obvious signs, let's look at something much softer, but incredibly powerful. Sign number 3. They care about your feelings, and you'll notice it most when you seem down or unusually quiet. It's easy for people to pay attention when you're happy, laughing and full of energy. But when your mood shifts, only those who truly care will pick up on it. They'll notice when you're quieter than usual, when your smile doesn't reach your eyes, or when your words feel heavier than normal. This is because emotional attraction sharpens awareness. Psychologists say that when someone has strong feelings, they develop a natural sensitivity to the other person's emotions. It's almost like their brain is wired to look for small clues in your behavior. So instead of brushing off your silence, they'll pause and ask, "Are you okay?" That simple question is a window into something deeper. It shows they've been paying close attention and want to understand what's going on beneath the surface. Sometimes they don't even need words. Their body language will reveal concern. Maybe they lean closer, soften their voice, or slow down their pace, giving you room to open up. It doesn't stop there. They often check back later. If you seemed upset earlier in the day, they'll follow up with a message or a call just to see if you're doing any better. That persistence isn't casual. It's genuine emotional care. And here's what makes it stand out. They care even when there's nothing they can gain from it. Their attention isn't about solving your problems. It's about making sure you don't feel alone while facing them. This is one of the clearest signals of emotional liking. Because in a world where most people are caught up in their own struggles, someone who consistently pauses to check in on yours is showing that your feelings matter deeply to them. Before we talk about the next big clue, let's focus on one of the deepest and most telling signs. Sign number 4. They share their emotions with you, and that means they feel safe enough to open up about their thoughts. Most people are careful about revealing their feelings. They keep their fears, insecurities, and even their dreams locked away, because sharing them makes us vulnerable. But when someone emotionally likes you, they let those walls down. You'll notice this when casual conversations suddenly shift into something more personal. Instead of talking only about surface-level things like work, school, or the weather, they begin to reveal what really goes on in their mind. They might share stories about their past, experiences that shaped them, or even secrets they don't normally discuss with others. This act of opening up shows a high level of trust, and trust always points to emotional closeness. Psychologists call this emotional self-disclosure, and it's one of the strongest indicators of intimacy. People don't open up unless they feel safe, understood, and valued. It doesn't always have to be heavy or serious. Sometimes it's just them admitting they had a bad day, or confessing something silly that embarrassed them. The key is, they choose to share it with you, not just anyone else. Pay attention to how natural it feels. If they can express sadness, excitement, or even fear around you without holding back, it's because they believe you won't judge them. And when someone emotionally likes you, they don't just share emotions, they also look for your response. They want to know if you understand, if you relate, and if you'll accept them for who they are. That willingness to be vulnerable is not casual. It's a clear sign that you mean more to them than just a friend, because opening their heart to you is a risk they're willing to take. Before we talk about the more hidden emotional signs, let's focus on one that shines very clearly when someone truly cares about you. Sign number 5. They support your goals, encourage your dreams, and celebrate your wins. Think about how easy it is for people to dismiss someone else's ambitions. Many will nod politely when you talk about your plans, but deep down they don't really care. But someone who emotionally likes you, they listen with genuine interest, and they want to see you succeed. You'll notice how their eyes light up when you share an idea or a dream. They might even ask questions, not just to fill space, but because they're truly invested in what you want to achieve. When you're working hard towards something, they cheer you on, reminding you of your strengths when you start to doubt yourself. This encouragement isn't casual, it's emotional fuel, meant to keep you moving forward. Psychologists say that one way people show emotional attachment is by aligning themselves with your growth. They don't just like who you are now, they believe in who you can become. It's also about how they respond to your victories. Even if it's something small, like finishing a project or hitting a personal goal, they celebrate it as if it were their own success. That reaction reveals their emotional investment in your happiness. They also support you during setbacks. Instead of pulling away when things get tough, they reassure you, remind you of your abilities, and stand by you even when progress is slow. Sometimes, you'll notice they adjust their own time or effort to make space for your goals. Maybe they give you quiet when you need to focus, or they remind you to rest when you're working too hard. This kind of encouragement goes beyond simple kindness. It reflects a deep emotional connection, where your dreams become important to them, simply because you are important to them. Before we talk about the bigger, more obvious gestures of affection, let's pause and look at something quieter, but just as meaningful. Sign number 6. They make small sacrifices for you. They change plans or help you without hesitation. Most people stick to their own routines. They protect their time, their comfort, and their priorities. But when someone emotionally likes you, they're willing to bend those rules for your sake. Maybe they skip a night out with friends, just to be there when you need company. Maybe they stay up late helping you finish something important. Even when they're tired, these actions may look small on the surface, but they carry deep meaning. Psychology tells us that sacrifice is one of the clearest indicators of attachment. It's not about giving up everything, it's about showing that your needs matter enough for them to adjust their own. Pay attention to the speed of their response. When you ask for help, do they hesitate or do they step in immediately? That lack of hesitation often shows a heart-driven choice, not just a polite obligation. Sometimes they won't even wait for you to ask. They notice you're struggling and offer a hand before you say a word. That quiet awareness reveals emotional investment. And it's not only about dramatic moments. It could be them giving you the last slice of pizza, carrying something heavy for you, or rearranging their schedule so they can spend time together. These small sacrifices build a pattern of care. What makes this powerful is that it's voluntary. They don't keep score, they don't remind you of what they did. They do it because they want your life to feel a little easier, a little lighter, and a little happier. When someone emotionally likes you, their actions say, "Your comfort is as important as mine," and that kind of quiet sacrifice speaks volumes. Now think about the people around you. Do you notice these little signals in the way they act? The way they listen? Or the way they make time for you? Sometimes the truth isn't spoken. It's hidden in these quiet behaviors. If this video helped you understand emotional attraction better, don't forget to give it a like. And for more insights into psychology, relationships, and human behavior, make sure to subscribe to our channel, Psychology Zone. Your next big discovery might just be one video away.